Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. You know the usual, long time no see. Oh my gosh, I want to post more videos and then I don't. So it's okay. We're just going to talk about the books. We're not going to worry about anything else. Today we are going to be talking about the books that I read in the months of May and June. And in a historic record, I read 21 books in the past 2 months. I read 10 in May and 10 in June. Nope, that's not how math works. I read 11 books in June. I read a lot of good books. I finally got some 5 stars. I didn't have any 5 stars before the month of May, and I just you can't see the stack, but the stack's pretty high of the books that I've got here. So we're just going to get right into it and talk about the books that I read in May. Not in any particular order. I just kind of have it by genre, sort of, kind of. But the first book I actually don't have anymore because I didn't love it enough to keep it. Oops. In the month of May, I did read Belladonna by Adeline Grace, I believe. This was a fine book. There was really nothing wrong with it. I just didn't care. Sorry. This is about Signa Farrow, who is basically, she cannot die. She has tried multiple times, not like she's not like suicidal. But she just cannot die, and she is constantly placed with different family members, and they all just kind of kick the bucket. And so she is determined not to let death get in her way when she is placed with the Hawthorns. Are they the Hawthorne family? I can't remember. Anyway, she ends up with a new family, and the daughter of the family is really, really sick, and she's determined not to have death take her away. So, literally, death is a character in this book, and I liked it. I liked that Death was a person. I thought that was fun and interesting. But literally, the mystery aspect of like, why is the daughter sick and like what's happening with this family, I just could not care. I didn't care. I DNF'd this book like 3 or 4 times. I think if you watch my January TBR video, which I haven't done a TBR video since, I actually have done it on my TikTok. I do post TikToks now. So if you do like my YouTube videos, you can go on my TikTok because I actually post on there because it's much easier to film and edit those. But yes, she is just okay. It was just okay. I'm okay. I gave it 3 stars because I can see why people like it. Like, again, I don't think anything's wrong with it. It just wasn't for me. Now, for the rest of the books, I do actually have them, so let's get into those. Starting off with my first 5 star of the year, Summer Romance by Annabelle Monaghan. I love this book so much, guys. This book is about Allie, who lost her mother 2 years ago, and a year ago also her husband decided to file for divorce because I guess he couldn't handle her grieving. We hate this man. And she has finally decided that, she's gonna start living again. She's gonna start, really trying to put herself out there again. And she goes to the dog park and her dog pees on a man, and that's basically how the romance starts in this book. And I think my favorite thing about this book is you can really get something out of it, like about being a woman, about grieving, about being a mom, about, having like kind of not 2 personalities, but the male main character, like he has this kind of reputation in the town, and he's so different like from what he was when he was a teenager, but he's just like can't get away from these like things that people think about him. That was such a not good sentence, but we're gonna ignore it. This book did make me cry, and I just feel like any book that can make me cry low-key deserves 5 stars because, I mean, it's so easy to cry at a movie, but like with a book, it's a little bit harder. So I gave her 5 stars because she was just beautiful. I think this was so good. I'm a little nervous to start her new book. I've heard a lot of people like it, but I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. Yeah. My next 3 books are actually by the same author, and it is my one and only Ali Hazelwood. We're going to start with the one that I read first of the month of Ali Hazelwood. I did read Check and Mate. This is her YA debut. And why are more people not talking about this book? I don't understand. This follows Mallory. Yes, we got it this time, guys. It's about Mallory, who used to play chess. She was really good at chess. She's still really good, but chess was a really big part in this just really big thing that happened with her family. And so she's decided she's never going to play chess again. But her best friend convinces her to do a charity chess tournament, and she does really well. And she actually ends up beating world chess champion Nolan Sawyer. And so it just kind of goes from there of her beating him. And I really love books that really focus on a particular thing, like Not Another Love Song by Julie Soto. The music, love that. The chess, love it. I'm reading The Favorites by Lane Fargo right now. Like the skating, yeah, it's so good. I love those kinds of books. I think my favorite part about this book is Nolan, because he was like a brooding character, but he wasn't mean or anything. Like, he was just brooding and he was really sure of himself. And oh, I loved this man. And although this is YA, it's very much still Ali Hazelwood. Like, you can tell Ali Hazelwood wrote this book, and it's just so much fun. I really liked it. And I also really liked Mallory because she was still very, like, she was also sure of herself. And I feel like a lot of Ali Hazelwood's characters are a little too self-deprecating sometimes, but Mallory, I feel like her self-deprecation, while it wasn't a lot, when it was used, like, it made sense. It wasn't just like, oh my god, girl, can you please stand up? Like, I understood her. Then I read her STEMinist novella collection. This comes with 3 stories, and they are all 3 best friends, and it's their separate romances. So the first one is Under One Roof, which is about Liam and Maya. She is a environmental engineer. My bad. She is an environmental engineer, and he is a big oil lawyer. So, they've got some differences that they need to work out. Stuck With You is about these 2, I think those are the civil engineers. Yes, I knew that was somewhere in here. These 2 civil engineers end up trapped in an elevator, and the story goes between then and now, them kind of meeting each other before getting stuck in the elevator, and now when they're stuck in the elevator, they don't like each other. Well, it's more she doesn't like him, and you find out why. And then the last one is Below Zero, the last friend. She is on a NASA expedition in this like Arctic tundra, whatever, and she gets stuck, about to freeze to death, but Hunk over here comes and saves her. I don't really have much to say about this. I think they were really fun. I didn't rate them because I don't read many novellas, and I mean, they're just so short. I'm not really sure what to say. I liked them. I think Stuck With You is my favorite. Under One Roof was very classic Ali Hazelwood. And then, yeah, Below Zero was just fine for me. The last Ali Hazelwood book that I read was her most recent release, and just one of the most interesting reads. I just. This book is just so fun. I read Problematic Summer by Ali Hazelwood, and she got tabbed. For me, if it gets tabbed, it's serious. This book takes place in Italy, where Eli is getting married to Rue. These 2 characters are from Not in Love by Ali Hazelwood, which is my favorite Ali Hazelwood book. So I was really excited to kind of get a little bit of those characters in this one. But this is about Eli's sister, Maya, who is in Italy for their wedding. And the problem is that Eli's best friend, Connor, is also there for the wedding. And you're like, why is that a problem? Well, she's in love with him, and he really won't give her the time of day romance-wise. You'll see what I mean if you read it. But that's because they have a 15-year age gap. And hey guys, I don't care. I don't care about age gap at all. I love it. Sorry. So this book really focuses on the age gap. So if you hate age gap, don't pick it up thinking, oh, maybe this will be the one to change your mind. But also, it might. I don't know. I think that I loved this so much because, I mean, again, I don't care about age gap. It doesn't bother me at all. But I think I loved it so much because she does it in a really, I don't know if respectful is the word, but she is just so like, Maya is very like, I don't care, like, who cares? And Connor's like, I need you to get away from me or I'm gonna do something stupid, and I don't want to do something stupid because I care about you and I don't want to like abuse my power. And she's like, what are you talking about? Like, I really, really loved Maya in this. This book, Connor, I don't want to say too much, but like, That man has done bad. He's done bad. Those are all of the romances that I read in May. So now we're going to get into the fantasy. Well, I really only read 2 fantasy, and then I have a mystery book in here. Also, from my January TBR, I was supposed to read The Ashes and the Star Cursed King. That didn't happen. This is a big book. This is a big book. I don't love big books. This comes after The Serpent and the Wings of Night, and I did like that book. And then I asked for this book for Christmas before I found out about this author's political views, which just don't align with mine. So all I'm gonna say is I liked it. I think it's a fine duology. Um, yeah, I'm not gonna read anything else by this author. I liked it. That's all I've got to say. Then I finally finished a series. I used to be so anti-series. I never picked up series. It just made me angry. I couldn't really tell you why. But I did finish the Covenant series by Jennifer L. Armentrout. This is the final book. This is the 5th book, Sentinel. I don't really remember what I rated it. I liked it enough. It's not my favorite. I think the 3rd book in the series is my favorite. Like the 2nd and 3rd are definitely the top books in this series for me. The book before this, Apollyon, I did not like. It was really boring. I didn't care what was happening. So I had high hopes that this book was really going to bring it back for me. And it was better than Apollyon. It just wasn't amazing. Like, I feel like 70% of this book, I was just like, okay, sure, whatever. But the ending, I think the ending was very unique. When I first read it, I was like, this is really convenient. This is really convenient and kind of out of nowhere. But I was like, I never would have thought of that. I never would have thought that's what she was going to do. And so I think it was really interesting. And I think it was also really beautiful. Like, Aiden, Aiden cares so much about Alex. It literally makes me want to cry. That man has been to hell and back, quite literally. And he has done everything under the sun for this girl. And I just think it ends in such a perfect way for the way they care about each other. So yeah, I'm really glad I finished it. I think overall, I'd give this like 3.5, 4-star like series overall. Like I would recommend it if someone really wanted to read it. It's just like this is really YA. Like you read it and you're like, okay, girl, I get it. And as I mentioned, I did read a mystery book, and there is really only one author that can get me to really read mysteries, and that is Miss Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I started the Natural series. This is about Cassie, who has really just good profiling skills. She really knows how to get information, not get information, but like just like learn stuff about people just kind of by looking at them. And she gets recruited into the Naturals program, which is a program for teenagers with the FBI that have really good profiling. Just like, I don't know, what is it? Like, the profiling skills? I don't know. They just have good skills, period. That's it. This one was really fun. I did not guess the plot twist. I don't really go into books thinking, like, oh, this is gonna happen. Like, you need to say something super duper obvious for me to be like, oh, I think this is gonna happen. Like, I don't really try that hard. I thought this was really fun, fast paced. This and the Inheritance Game series, super duper fun. The first 3 books of the Inheritance Games, I don't associate with what happens after Final Gambit, okay? I do plan on reading the rest of this series. I am looking forward to it. Yeah, just a fun, good time. I think I gave it 4 stars. I would say 4 stars. That seems accurate. Those are all of the books that I read in May, and since we're still kind of in the fantasy section of the video, I'm just going to start with the fantasies that I read in June. I did complete another series in the month of June, and I'm so conflicted about this. I read Fearless by Lauren Roberts, 3rd book in the Powerless trilogy. I think in the end I gave it like 3.5 to 4, which is not bad at all. Like, but the thing is, it's just so much happened, but also nothing happened. I don't know. Fearless starts up right after Reckless. Like, I don't think there's any time jump at all. And I loved Powerless. I gave it 5 stars. It was super fun, good time. Was it an original fun time? No, I don't care about that right now. Then I read Reckless, and it was a book. It was fine. It was fine. And then, so I went into this one a little afraid. Also, why is it so big? And, you know, I think it was different, but not. I literally, this book is so strange to me. I don't know. She brings back the trial aspect, which when I first saw that, I was like, why? We already did that. But also, I feel like the way she set up the world, there was nothing else she could have done. I'm not saying every fantasy book needs to have like a super fleshed out, amazing, incredible, large, complex world. I don't think that. I just she didn't do enough to warrant having anything else. Like it really we could only do trials again. And it didn't make sense for what she wrote. I just wish it was a little different. And there's a character in here that gets such like they change so much in this book, and she explains the way she explains it. Okay, I'm like, that does make sense what you wrote, but I don't like it because I don't think that this is how this character is as a person. But I just it was just so many confusing thoughts. I was really bored the first half. I had to put this down and read books in between. But then there were some parts where I was like, this is so insane. I never would have thought of this, and she shocked me so much where I was like, okay, do I like it? I don't know. I know I gave it a high rating, but also I don't know. This is like, I don't know. That's all I have to say is I don't know. But I do have a fantasy book that I do know. I do know how I feel about it, and I love it. Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson. So upset that I didn't read this sooner. But also, I am kind of glad I read it when I did, because this made me want to get into fantasy for real. Like, I'm so excited. I'm not in a fantasy mood right now, unfortunately. But like when I get back in my fantasy era, like I'm gonna be in it, okay? The back of this book does not adequately, I mean, it kind of does, but you have no idea what's gonna happen, honestly, when you read the back of the book. Like it Loki tells you nothing. And I think that's a pretty good way to go into this. Yeah, I didn't know really where it was gonna go, and then we got into it and I was like, yeah, and then I was like, yeah, okay. This is about Kazi, who is part of the Queen's like elite guard. She's really good at what she does, and she is sent on a secret mission to this territory, which is actually owned by the Ballingers. Bring in our male main character, Jace Ballinger. The thing is, it's owned by them, but it's not. They're technically like an outlaw family, but he's like, no, our family has been here since the beginning of time. Okay, we were one of the first families. And she's like, yeah, okay. And so she's here on the secret mission, and Jace is like seeing her being there as an opportunity to get the queen to recognize his family and their sovereignty. So basically, the whole book is just them trying to use the other person to get what they want. But they get some romantic feelings. Guys, this book makes me giggle. Like, oh my gosh. I love it. I love it so much. Very excited to read the second book. I just feel like I was comparing this book a lot to like Powerless. I guess because I had finished Fearless like a week or so before reading this. But I just felt their connection so much more, and their banter didn't feel forced at all. Like, it really felt like these two people had these feelings for real. Like, it wasn't just like, oh, here, I have romance and we're gonna do romantic things. It was like, no, like it was serious. Okay, it was serious. I love this book. Okay, 5 stars. And the last fantasy book that I read, I mean, in my head it's more fiction, but there's vampires in it, so therefore it's fantasy. I read An Education in Malice by S.T. Gibson. I read A Dowry of Blood like maybe no, I didn't read it in October. I don't know. I read it last year. That's all you need to know. I really liked it, so I decided to pick up this one, and it is actually a companion novel to A Dowry of Blood, which I didn't know. You don't have to read these in any particular order, and you don't actually need to read both at all. Like, it's just if you want to. And I'm really glad that I did read A Dowry of Blood before this, because there is a character from that's in this. But again, it doesn't matter. This is a Carmilla retelling. I have not read Carmilla. I didn't even know that was a book until after I was reading this. Sorry. This book is about Laura, who comes to this small all-girls college in Massachusetts, and she meets Carmilla. She's like mesmerized by her, and they end up in this really what is the word? Advanced, yeah. Advanced like poetry seminar taught by this professor, and it's very clear that everyone really wants this professor to like them. And Carmilla and this professor have this like kind of weird relationship, and Laura just really wants to get the professor's attention. And I feel like that sounds boring, but it's really not. I mean, I think if you don't like a dark academia, you're not gonna like this. And the vampire aspect, I honestly, because I didn't know Carmilla was a story, I didn't know this was vampires. Like all of a sudden I was like, oh, there's vampires in here. Okay, fun. I really liked Carmilla. I really liked Laura. I liked the vampire part of it. Well, actually, that was probably my least favorite part. It was like fine. It was like just like they just happened to have some vampire stuff going on, but you weren't completely focused on the vampire part. It was more the relationship between Carmilla and Laura and the professor. And it was a little sapphic. So I really enjoyed that. It was fun. Yeah, good book. Now getting into the romances, which I love. I finally picked up The X-Files by Jessica Joyce. I had heard so many good things about this. I did wait a little bit because Problematic Summer Romance had the wedding stuff, and this one also has wedding stuff, and I didn't want to compare them too much. But I also read this when I was recovering from anesthesia. So I was very sleepy when I was reading this. So I gave it 4 stars. Not a bad rating. I probably think it would have been higher if I had been much more conscious when I was reading it, but that's okay. This follows Georgia and Eli, who were together. Now they're not, and they have their mutual friend Adam, who's getting married, and they are the best man and the best woman. So they have to make sure that none of their relationship issues get in the way of the wedding, because the wedding's already going to hell. Like it's bad. I really liked Eli. I think my favorite part was you actually see how much they have changed. I feel like Eli more than her. Like she doesn't seem that different to me, but you know, with a romance book, it's always the man has to do the changing, and that's real. Women, you don't need to change ever. I thought this was really cute. Yeah, 4 stars. Really enjoyed. I don't really want to read any of her other books. I mean, if she has like a new release, maybe I'll check it out, but I think she has like 1 or 2 books out, or maybe 1. I don't know. This is fine. Then I read Funny Feelings by Tara DeWitt, and I really liked this one as well. I gave it 4 stars. This is about Farley, who is a comedian, and she is managed by a former comedian, Meyer. Be honest with me. Do we think this is a Seth Meyers fanfic? Because I really do. Like, it has to be, right? Like, it is. And she is hopelessly in love with him. And, fun fact, he's in love with her too. And it's dual POV. I didn't know that when I went into this book. Farley gets this opportunity to be a part of a comedy tour with other female comedians, and they decide to get some good press going that she should fake date her manager. And she's like, what? But this, I think my favorite part was the way that they communicate about the like fake dating. It wasn't just like, oh my god, we have to fake date. Like, it was like they were both like, okay, but like, are you comfortable with this? Like, you know, I don't want to make, because the guy has a daughter, a 11-year-old daughter who's also deaf, and Farley knows sign language. So that's like a really big part of the book, and I really loved that part of it. But they're both just like, okay, how is this gonna affect Hazel? Like, you know, I don't want to do anything that you're uncomfortable with. Like, they just communicate. They communicate, and I love that. And it's very, very clear how much they care about each other, how much they care about the daughter. And I just, this was so sweet. This was so sweet. And yeah, I loved it. 4 stars. Then I have another 5-star read, which I was not expecting, but I don't know why I was surprised, because like the topic, I just love topics like these. I read Confessions of an Alleged Good Girl by Joya Goffney. Yes, Goffney. And this follows Monique, who is the daughter of a preacher. So already we know that she has a lot of pressure on her, that she's expected to act a certain way, and she has a boyfriend named Dominic, and it is their like 2 or 3 year anniversary, something like that. And it doesn't go well because she really wants to, you know, be with her boyfriend, and she just can't. She physically cannot do it. And this has been a problem for quite some time. But again, she's a preacher's daughter, so she really doesn't have anyone to turn to about this issue. But she does end up getting help from another girl at her church, and there is this bad boy, you know, the kind of guy where everyone's like, oh, he's gonna go to jail or whatever. She gets help from them learning about her condition, how to fix it, and just, it's really, this was such a beautiful story. I really loved it. And although it's YA, I feel like she wrote about it in such a mature way, but it doesn't feel like too far off from YA, but it doesn't feel like super juvenile. Like, I don't know. I just think this was written so beautifully, and I really want to read another book by her. My favorite part about this book was definitely the characters, because even the characters I hate, like the boyfriend, oh, I hate that man. He was really necessary to the story because, I mean, not only is this just about like learning about your body, but learning about, you know, when in a relationship, the expectations about like each other's bodies. And it really deals with like the religious guilt that she feels and all these expectations on her. I just love this. I don't know why I waited so long to read this. I read this in less than 24 hours. Like, I ate this book up. The next two romances I read were actually part of an interconnected series, and I read two books from the Windy City series. I read Play Along by Liz Tom Ford first. This is about the brother from Caught Up, which I loved Caught Up. It made me cry. Oh my gosh. This is about Isaiah, and Isaiah has been in love with their athletic trainer, Kennedy, from the first day that he met her, but he didn't do anything because she was engaged. And all of a sudden, he notices that she is not engaged anymore, but she is not allowed to be with him because she just can't be with anyone on the team. She's gonna get fired. But one drunken night in Vegas, they end up married, and they have to stay married so that she does not get fired because she needs a clean record so that she can get a better job in a different city. That's pretty much the plot. I gave this 4 stars. I thought it was really fun. I really liked Isaiah, and I did like Kennedy. I think her like intimacy issue thing was done really well. And also there's some like anxiety things happening with Isaiah. So they both have their internal struggles, and I think they were done really well. And I think they were really cute. Also, I think this is my favorite cover. Like, I love the purple. And then I decided that I would just read the rest of the series. So I bought all the books. I was like, okay, let me start from the beginning because I started with book 3. I decided to pick up Mile High. It was interesting. I gave Mile High 3 stars. I didn't hate it. I feel like a lot of people hate this book, honestly, and I didn't hate it. I just thought it was fine. This book is about Xanders, who is a hockey player, and Stevie, who is the flight attendant for the hockey team. And I mean, Xander was annoying. He was annoying. Xanders was really annoying and rude, and his whole like bad boy like plot line. I'm like, you're an adult. Did you know that? Like, you're an adult. You don't have to do this. I did really enjoy Stevie. I feel like I really resonated with her and what she was going through, and I thought she was really fun and sweet. So I just don't understand why she's with this man, but whatever. Also, this book was so long. Why is this book over 400 pages? Like, it's almost 500. Stop it. Stop it. We're finally at the end, guys. But it's not a happy end. It's a happy end because they're all 5 stars. But I read the Hunger Games books. Oh god. Lovely bestie Jillian got me the special editions of the Hunger Games books. I haven't read Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, but I do have it. And yeah, this just hurt. These hurt bad. I was tearing up like every 10 pages. I couldn't do it. I don't have anything specific to say about each book. They're so much darker than the movies. Like, I still love the movies, but I just forgot how insane these people are. Like, you're kidding. I did tab the heck out of these books just for moments that made me want to tear up, moments I remember from the movie that were so good, and also things that I was like, I cannot believe that they took this out. But also, yeah, they were so evil. I feel like if they had done everything that was in these books, like, those movies would have been like had to be rated R or something. Like, scary. I'm scared. But again, these are the blueprint. These are the OG. Everyone writes about trials because of Miss Suzanne. So I'm scared about Ballad of Songbirds. I'm scared about Sunrise on the Reaping, but they will be read eventually. We did it. That was a lot. I probably should have done a video at the end of May, but I guess I'll talk about it. I was just like, oh my god, I should buy a camera. I don't have camera money. I don't know why I was thinking that. And I also ran out of storage on my iCloud, and I edit on my computer, so I had to, like, it was just a lot. So that's why I hadn't gotten a video out. But I really wanted to film this one because I finally read so many books. But yeah, that's where I'm at. Yeah, those are the books I read. So I'll see you whenever I see you. Bye, guys.